Happy Monday, homeschool mamas. I hope your Mother's Day was as lovely as mine was. It was a day filled with fun activities with my family, and my husband didn't miss a beat. He thinks he did at the end of the day, but he didn't. He's always thinking of everything. And yesterday, my family gave me, finally, I always talk to you about, or I always talk in my books about essential oils and aromatherapy, and I have my very own as well, and it smells beautiful. A little lavender for right now. And so lovely to be in the garden yesterday and actually clip back the real lavender because spring has sprung in my part of the world and it is beautiful. I got spoiled. I hope you did too yesterday. I have to share with you something so cute that my son gave me. He gave me a little card that he made, and it said, part of it I'm going to share with you. This is private. Don't tell anyone. But act as if you're reading something really touching, and then say afterwards, thank you, as if someone wants to say something in a really sweet way to you. And then say, oh, but it's private, so I can't share. That made me laugh. Right now, I've got one kiddo downstairs doing her, it's a grade 12 level math program that she's trying to finish before she goes off to ballet school in the fall. And I've got another kiddo, the card maker, who is outside with his dad building the goat barn, putting on the veranda ceiling, which is almost done. So we should be able to bring goats home soon. 2 baby goats yet to be born. And we're getting baby chicks on Wednesday. Yes, it's this week. We're getting baby chicks. So that's going to be really fun to have this week. But I wanted to share with you a couple things that I was doing this weekend with my kids. I actually got my hair cut and colored. Compliments of my girls. Like, how lucky is that? I've been reading along with my girls The Dance of the Dissident Daughter by Sue Monk Kidd. It is one of my favorite books ever. And The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. A book that I would encourage you to read if you have any time to develop your creativity. This is like the Bible of creativity. I also really loved Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, but this one actually teaches you how to do it. And this one has been a real delight to read alongside my almost going to ballet school daughter, who is going to, she's told, be able to find a path to greater creativity through this book. With my son, I'm continuing to read Music of the Great Composers because this is my thing. I love it. But I marvel at how much time he spends on the piano practicing, and he has not been taught to read music yet, even though his sister and his dad have taught him how to do that and sat with him many, many hours and giving him lessons, and he spends all his extra spare time doing that. Zach and I are also reading the Tales from Shakespeare by Charles and Mary Lamb. If you want to introduce Shakespeare to your younger kids, these are very readable stories. They flow really well. They can capture the details of the story, the theme of the story, just the general energy of the story without all the these and thous and things that actually kids, even if they're high school level, sometimes find a challenge with. So it's a really delightful one, and we're reading through A Midsummer Night's Dream right now. The one book that he is not as enraptured by is this one, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Sean Covey. You know Stephen Covey's book? This is his son's book. And this is one of those that my son is not nearly as eager to tell you he loves, but I always hear him giggling when I hear him reading this. And how could you not encourage a kiddo to read this book? Because the habits are talking about being proactive, not reactive. Always a good habit to learn throughout your entire lifetime. Begin with the end in mind. Put first things first. Talking about relationship bank accounts, thinking win-win, seeking first to understand, then to be understood, synergizing, sharpening the saw. It's just really good reading for a teenager to think about how he wants to show up in his life. And on, I believe it's Thursday evening, we're going to have a book club for homeschool mamas. If you are interested in that, I will send you the Zoom link. It'll be short and sweet, 45 minutes. We're going to maybe review, we can each share a paragraph of a recent book that we love. I'd love to talk about an homeschool encouragement book. No, it's not going to be my book. And also be able to talk about the books that we want to share with our kids. It's going to be just a time to connect, get to know each other a little bit. So if you're interested, I think it's 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday. I will send you the Zoom link. The other thing that I find my son doing is drawing. Now, actually, that's not his drawing. That's one of the girls. And I don't even remember which one at this point. I found it in one of the other books. This is the beauty of homeschooling a long time, is that you have lots of these. And I cannot get rid of this stuff. I cannot get rid of the cute little stuff that they make. No, I cannot. I am an organized hoarder for certain things like memorabilia. That is just too cute. And I cannot get rid of all those schooled or all those books that we've read in read alouds. I can't do that either. I'm thinking I might need to do a giveaway for a lot of the books that probably will not get read again. But maybe you want to be involved in that. Speaking of giveaways, today the Simple Home Mom won the giveaway. Have you done a randomized giveaway? Interesting approach. They give you a number and then they show you what the name of that person is. And it was, I couldn't read it properly, obviously, on the video, but I was so excited for her. She is a homeschool mom that you need to know. She is a homeschool mama that I would love to have on my Mentor Live series when we talk about homeschool planning, probably in June, maybe July. I would like to hear when you typically are planning for your next homeschool, or if you do that, or if you just wing it. But if it is in about May or June, I'm going to ask her, perhaps right now live, would you like to be live on my Homeschool Mama Mentor series? Because she focuses her entire Instagram account entirely on planning, but planning habits and creating home organization, the basics. And it's not intended just for the homeschool mom, but you know, we both know this is definitely useful for the homeschool mom. So I'm really excited that the giveaway ended up going to her, because I see how she invests in the homeschool moms in her world. She's just started a 6-week course for that purpose. So you should jump on over to the Simple Home Mom. And also, this week, I am going to release a podcast on Wednesday all about my Homeschool Mama retreat. I wish it were live in person. Maybe it will be next year. I own a homestead bed and breakfast, and I would be delighted to share it with you. I would love to have a weekend where in the evenings we could have a wine and cheese event, or we could just hang out around the fire pit and chat, get to know each other in real time. Definitely spend much of the day, maybe the mornings, we could be sitting after we have our homemade breakfast, and we could be sitting and chatting in session or seminars about the different aspects of homeschooling, how we can support each other, what sorts of challenges we have, and how we can overcome them. And then in the afternoons, go out and do something really crazy like zip lining, or we could just go canoeing or hiking, or all sorts of things that we can do in the area where our homestead bed and breakfast resides. It would be such a pleasure to genuinely meet you and connect with you in real time. But until then, I have a virtual Homeschool Mama retreat, which I would also be delighted to share with you, because it really has 5 pillars of the Homeschool Mama self-care. 5 different aspects that you might not be considering. It definitely is not a list of 50 things you can do that are really expensive and you don't have time for. Although, hey, why not? I love getting pedicures and manicures. And yesterday, my girls gave me one. But I don't mean that kind of stuff. I mean things like, who are you and how is you showing up for you and building on your identity and recognizing what your needs are, actually playing into your real homeschool? What's your vision of homeschool? Are you actually following through with what your goal is for homeschool and how it actually manifests in your practical day-to-day? What about, of course, the physical care and keeping of you? That's the blog post I posted about today, was the care and keeping of the homeschool mama, which we kind of don't think about until an afterthought, right? And yet reality, we need to take care of ourselves. Not only is it, filling the cup and all that stuff, and it has its place, but actually you set the atmosphere for your home. And sadly, not sadly, but kind of sadly, more is caught than taught, because we don't go into homeschooling thinking that the kids are going to catch our energy or catch our approaches to life. Some of them are wonderful and we can be proud, and some of them have some work to do. And yet the energy and the atmosphere is set by us, so we need to be able to take care of us so we can take care of them. I've got a whole lot more of a discussion about the Homeschool Mama Retreat on my podcast this week, which will release on Wednesday, and you will see it in my homeschool group, Homeschool Mama Support Group on Facebook, and you'll also see it on Instagram on my post at that day. Other than that, I think that is about all that I'm going to talk about this week. If you are interested in the Homeschool Mama Retreat, DM me, because today is the last day. I am going to get started with the students or the other homeschool moms that are joining the group. And I'm going to get to both develop the course with them and also kind of expand it and make sure that it covers the things that the homeschool moms that are not me, that have an experience of homeschooling outside of my experience homeschooling, actually is relevant to them and can really feel like a retreat, even if it is virtually. So on that note, I have a goat barn to build, and I need to go outside and help my husband and my son keep building, because baby goats will be coming to our homestead bed and breakfast very soon. I hope you and your kids have a charmed week. We'll talk to you soon.